Welcome to the special anniversary show.
35 years.
That's right, and 2 years of us, because it's also our anniversary show.
Combined 37 years.
Mm.
Oh, the same age as me.
Very old.
Hang on, am I 37? God, how old I am.
The sad thing is,
Yes.
that Dennis will never know what it's like to be 37 years old.
You're literally just putting the spoiler in the first 1 minute, are you?
I think people have read the title of the episode.
People sometimes maybe... That's true. People might listen to this podcast thinking, I've not been able to catch up on the episodes this week. I wonder who it was. Oh, it's Dennis. Might as well not bother listening anymore.
That's what people were tuning in for, so I thought I'd go straight in. What was your first thoughts on the death?
Of Dennis?
Yes.
I actually thought it was very sad, and I thought it was very well done. And I know that I agree with what you say about that they seem to have a habit at the moment of killing or getting rid of very young characters.
And replacing them with a baby version of them.
Yeah, but it felt for me right with Dennis because he is just a rotten character, and I don't think there was ever... I think it's nice that they've given Sharon a refresh, a recon, you might say, and so this is a new start for... Because on Twitter, people have been... I asked, what do you think they're going to call the new kid, Sharon's new baby? And I genuinely believe that it will be Den or Dennis. But then Dennis is a very deathly name.
That's like Baby Abby again. Baby Dennis.
Dennis 2.
3.
4.
Yeah. Den, Dennis, Denny, Den, Jr.
Well, you keep shorting
and they're all dead.
Den, Dennis,
so I wouldn't
Denny.
call him Denny.
We could call it Den.
D. He would be called D.
I was surprised that Sharon had a boy. I know we're not talking about the episode yet, but I thought it would be a girl, especially when Sharon said, I miss my mum. So I thought she would have a girl and that it would be called Angie.
I didn't think so, because Louise had a girl. One of each.
So, well, this also then leads to maybe in 35 years' time that baby Dennis, inverted, and Peggy might get together. And the story starts again. But it's not Phil's baby. No, actually, they are both Keanu's baby. Hang on, step back. Yeah. No, that's not going to happen.
They're brother and sister.
Maybe they could DNA it and say, it is actually Phil's baby after all.
I bet they do. But yeah, I was a bit... I didn't want it to be Dennis. I wanted them to be brave and just kill Linda. And then when she was there trapped with her foot, I was like, they're going to do it. She's underwater. How she lived through that, I have no idea. And how Dennis died from a little tidal wave.
It was quite a big tidal wave.
Well, Ian lived.
But by the appearance of their anime eyes, when they suddenly widened, like you actually saw the shimmer of light shimmering in their eyes, you knew that something big was happening.
I don't know. I think it's a big mistake. It's one of those things that you'll regret in like 5 years' time or a few years' time.
I think there's a lot of regrets from where they've been. Like Mel, I think that's a regretful move. Abby,
exactly.
I'm still regretting Abby.
Yeah. And now they're going to be regretting this. So yeah, not good. Now, the first 2 episodes were so amazing, and then it went down.
The last episode was good.
Yeah, the last
too.
one was good. Thursday was awful, and it's just... Ugh.
But that's a matter of opinion, because a lot of people liked Thursday's episode. That's right. I thought that Thursday's episode was it was the only episode where they kept not moving away from the main story of the episode. So the Bill story and the Carter story was kind of dipped in and out of now and then. But with the Mitchell story, they just kept with the Mitchell story.
And it was so like macho and guns and
I know, I hate it when
punching.
they had guns in EastEnders. I really hate it. For me, I don't like that. I hate... But then it's not just EastEnders. I hate when they put them in any kind of drama situation. It's like, there's a gun. It's just an easy out, isn't it? It's like, a gun. That'll scare them. Not that I wouldn't be scared if someone pointed a gun in my face, but nor that I would like anyone to try.
No. Yeah, that's my initial thoughts, but we're going to break down the whole week somehow. So it's all a bit of a weird week. But maybe we should begin by saying
our
who
names?
You are.
Yeah, okay. So
2 weeks in a row.
I'm Alex. You may have heard me on a few radio stations this week.
Yes, a few.
Just a few.
Our phone's been off the hook.
It really has, and our email.
Yeah.
It's been quite an honour, actually. I felt a little bit celebrity.
And I'm Ben. You wouldn't have heard me on radio.
Unless you went back to September last year. Was it July?
July, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's when they had their lowest ever rating.
I can feel that coming on soon. And we're discussing the episodes that were broadcast for the 35th anniversary, so the 17th to 21st of February, but it all took part on the 14th on the show.
But the anniversary was the 14th.
Anniversary was the 19th in real life, but the actual EastEnders, it's still the 14th of February. It's still the same night when
Oh, I
Whitney
see. It was
got
Valentine's
killed.
Night, yes.
Yeah, so that's when Denny's death is. I'll note that down for next year when I do my this time last year.
Yeah, but they've already changed that, and it suddenly become
19th.
Yeah, it'll be the 19th. They say, oh yeah, Denny died on the 19th.
So we're going to start off with the Carters, because it was their boat party. So we might as well start with
which
them.
they earned with the ball and chain event. Apparently, one event made them win this. And then the woman of the hour, Ruby, who helped build the ball and chain.
She won it.
She won
for
it
them
with Max.
Had a winning meal and then wasn't even on the boat party.
Didn't bother. She wanted to stay at home.
Lots of people online were like, I bet she's having an affair with Martin, but she was literally just not in it.
Well, it wasn't even mentioned, was it?
No.
Chantel and Gray had more of a
Max
mention.
mentioned her. He said she's at the club avoiding the party.
But she had the right idea while Max downed another free drink.
With his new hat.
This is what confused me most about Linda's story of her getting her foot stuck on the boat, for me. That there was a pub or a boat full of free alcohol.
Yeah, free.
It was a free bar, completely free bar. But she decided on her own whimsical visit to go to the galley. That's right, the galley. I know my nautical terms.
On what end of the ship?
Starboard.
Right.
And I don't know if that's true. And she found what looked like a cooking alcohol as well. It wasn't even alcohol to drink.
It just looked like a bottle of wine. She's like, I'll have that.
Yeah, like a sherry or something. Like that would be used to like cook a cake with or something like that. And she decided that was the bottle she wanted. That was that was her spinach.
I think she was embarrassed, so she wanted to get away from it all. She'd had a go at Mick because he looked at Whitney, didn't he?
Well, he left Whitney's house because Whitney asked him for help.
His plan I didn't understand either, really.
But I mean, that kind of felt...
I feel like I need another half an hour episode this week to sort of fill in every other blank that there is.
All the gaps. Yeah. Well, yeah, because the plan, I guess, with him and Whitney was that Whitney wanted him to help cover the body, but then he said, no, just leave it.
Yeah, I'll sort it. You go on the boat party for an alibi. Take the knife with you to dump in the Thames.
Yeah, which he then stood on the side of the boat.
Yeah, and wouldn't get rid of it.
Jack then came over and took him, his detective skills, took him about 20 minutes to see the knife.
I know, it was like right in front of him. Like literally she was holding it in front of him and he just carried on talking about himself.
Yeah.
And then Mick then goes, I can't sort the body. It's like,
because
thanks,
Linda's in
Mick.
trouble
I'm on
now.
a boat now.
Yeah.
I can't actually rush off and get him. It's very odd.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sweet moment when Mick finally heard the answer phone message by Linda, because Linda, after her nice chat with Shirley, not before, though, the brilliant catfight in the Vic.
Very EastEnders.
Was brilliant. I mean, if that was the episode of them having that catfight in the pub, that was fine by me.
Because one punched her back.
It was a slap and a punch.
Back,
then
glasses.
She was pushing her head against the bar. I thought she was going to swipe her head along the bar as well and hit glasses along the way. But alas, no, that violence was not going to come.
No, that was good. That was a good cat fight. Good throwback to old East End pub fight.
That's right, the old East End. And she left an answer phone message after Shirley gave a very emotive speech to Linda saying, if you want to sort things out with Mick, do you still love him? Linda's like, yes. And so she leaves an answer phone message for Mick to say, I do love you. What I'm doing is a mistake. And it was really interesting,
the drink was talking.
Well, that's it, you see, because when Linda did her big speech on the boat, she'd been drinking, she was nasty, she was being quite catty toward Mick.
Vile.
And then so that was almost her Mr. Hyde. But when Mick heard the phone call, that was her Jekyll, and the phone call was her Mr. Hyde, and so it was the personality she has when she's not been drinking. And I thought that was quite sweet. That was quite good.
Yeah, but isn't it like if she was drunk, isn't she really telling the truth when she's drunk?
Well, that's what they say in movies, isn't it? They say drink is like the thing that kind of...
That's what I would say. I did think, like, when she was trapped there, her leg was trapped and it was filling up. I thought, oh, please have the balls to kill Linda. And it was so close. But no, he broke her ankle and everything.
Well, it was insanely close because she was underwater at one point.
Longer than Dennis.
Yeah. I mean,
Stupid Dennis.
I get that it must be a bit imposing to have Danny Dye's mouth cover your mouth to, impersonate that he's breathing on her behalf. But, that was quite... lackluster,
she got one bubble. If that.
It was
oh, thanks, Mick. That'll keep me going for 10 seconds.
Yeah. And so then instead he was like that, oh, sorry, Linda, and whacked her ankle and broke it. Yeah, I mean...
I hope that also, because at the end when she was back at the Vic, she was like, oh, I admit I'm an alcoholic. And I hope that's not the end of now she's not an alcoholic now. Well, I think she'll go get help and then that'll be it.
But I think that's the story. I think that's what they're doing. And that's something else that's disappointing me, because I thought that this would be a great opportunity to get Mick and Linda out of the Vic. And maybe, they don't have to not own the Vic, but maybe get people in to look after it for them.
Yeah, new characters. Something new.
Not necessarily new. Why not bring Lee back with his wife?
No, they could run that before.
Yes, and that's what I think should happen. Anyone listening, Pete Lawson, I know you're there. Take that as an idea. I give it to you for free. I'm putting it on a platter for you.
You know that all the Carters came out safe, which I was surprised at. I did think Tina was possibly cannon fodder for an easy death, but all of them survived. Although I just realised the Queen Vic bust is underwater. They're going to replace her, do you think? And we'll get a new one.
I hope so.
Have to update our merch store.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, there you
Queen
go.
Vic.
Limited time only.
Oh, yeah, limited edition merch. Queen Vic bust.
Get the old
from-
Queen Vic bust.
We'll get one with mould and stuff on it that's been underwater for
Oh, yeah, with
ages.
seaweed laying over
Update it.
it. Oh, that'd be really cool, actually. I'd buy one of them.
Yeah, me too. With 10% off.
I forget what the website is
dunno.
now. Oh, no.
But yeah, all the casters are fine.
Mm.
So I was expecting Tina to die or Linda.
I think it's bit.ly/EEW merch. In case you
it
are
wouldn't
interested.
be EEW because that's our old name.
Oh, yeah. WW? Walford?
It'll be on the description.
Oh, yeah, we'll put it on the description. If you want to buy some old pre-35th anniversary Queen Vic bust merch.
We were talking about Whitney as well, handing herself in.
I think we should, yes.
Yes.
So that was a great scene as well. But then Shona is an amazing actress, and I think...
She's been carrying that knife. She got it on the lifeboat.
Yeah.
She got it off the
She
sinking
didn't burst
ship.
the lifeboat with it.
She's been holding on to that for dear life.
Mm.
And yeah, she just told the police, like, oh, not to take away from Dennis's limelight here, but please arrest me in front of everyone.
I do think it was how polite she was, though. It's a very British way of doing it. She walked
Please
up to
arrest me.
Well, no, she said, I know this is quite inconvenient at the moment, but I murdered someone. Here's the evidence. And Jack kind of stood there and said, oh, hang on, Whitney.
She just admitted she murdered someone, which was really stupid.
Step back. But I think it was the right thing to do. By her admission, this is the kind of... I didn't want a silly story where they were trying to cover up the body. I mean, it'd be interesting to see next week what Sonia and Martin do, because if the police turn up now and say, hi, we're here to retrieve the body that Whitney had killed. And
Yeah,
Sonia would be
you
like,
don't know
what body?
what they've done, because they went to the hospital to be with Bex. So did they just leave Leo in the kitchen still?
I mean, Leo's just been in that kitchen the whole day. No one seems to know what to do with him. It's like, the film
Put
Weekend
him
at
back up in
Bernie's.
the attic, no.
Oh, okay. Well, it's when their boss is dead and they have to pretend that he's still alive so they can still use his holiday home. Maybe they're going to start doing that, Leo.
Maybe. But also some news that just got announced. By the time this comes out, it'll be old news. But apparently Patsy Palmer's coming back for a few episodes again. In a little short stint when she filmed Masked Singer recently.
I was about to say, is she going to come in her costume as the Masked Singer?
But she's going to be back for like the trial hearing about Leo and stuff. So
oh, great.
It's interesting.
Well, and also good continuity, because I get so
Big
sick.
Bianca hole.
There's always been a Bianca hole in my heart, and I get so sick when they have like a wedding or a funeral. For instance, Mel's funeral, when none of her family turned up. Well, there was just a mention of them. It's like, oh, they were at the the service, but they didn't want to come to the pub. It's like, no, poor show. Get the actors in.
That's why they killed Dennis, because no one has to come back for him, because everyone's already dead.
Oh yeah, Sharon's already there, isn't she?
Yeah. And all his relatives are dead, so...
Oh, I'm quite looking forward to the episode of the funeral of that, actually. Not Sharon's. Gosh, hello. Dennis's death.
Can you imagine if they flash forward past it? They skip 2 weeks that we've just...
Yeah.
Because we've been on the same day for 2 weeks. They skip past, and like Monday's episode, they're coming back from the funeral.
But Callum's still missing.
Oh, yeah. Possibly dead.
Yeah, but I mean, he was in... Oh, we'll talk about that
Lifeless
in a moment.
hand.
Well, yeah, he was just kind of on that skip saying, help me. But I mean... you saying you're upset about Dennis, but I think you should be more upset with Sharon, because she foresaw this when she swore on her son's life.
And we did. We mentioned it like months ago. When was that? Like August? It was a long time ago. We mentioned it. We said we're going to remember that.
Yep.
And now look where we are. So we did predict. If you go back to our podcast where she says that line on that week, we do say on there that Dennis is going to die now.
Something's going to happen to Dennis. And yet we didn't see it.
But it's because I didn't want
you
it
were
to be
adamant it was going to be Tina.
And there was so much like foreshadowing that I thought there's too much foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Like in this 1 week, like Kathy kept walking by going, you've got 2 sons now. And like these 2 sons are going to be the best thing in your life. And it's like, oh, there's so much foreshadowing. I thought they're playing us and it's going to be someone else, but it wasn't.
No, they did
was a 13-year-old boy.
I
drowned.
I have to admit, I knew the moment, again, we'll talk about Dennis's story later on the show, but I knew the moment when you saw Dennis being birthed, inverted commas. I thought, as soon as that happened, I thought, yeah, this is Dennis's exit. This is the way. This is basically they're showing Dennis kind of being reborn through Sharon's uterus.
Yeah. Sharon's uterus is a door which Ian put a hole in the door in the boat.
Okay. Well, I think Ian wants to put a hole in her uterus.
Oh, he did at one point. But that's not happening now.
Do you reckon when you die, when you go to heaven, it's literally just Sharon's uterus through the golden gates?
Maybe.
I'd
You
like
have to ask
that.
Dennis.
Why can't He's dead?
Halfway's Hat can talk to him in a few weeks.
We'll have a chat with him. We'll have a chat with him later and see how Dennis is.
Right, that's it. So we're going to go on to our next subject now, which was a very short story of Patrick, Issac and Sheree.
Patrick's making very sexist remarks this week, let's just say.
Is he?
He
What
said,
would he say?
well, after the cat fight, Isaac said, oh, yeah, I like a bit of wrestling, meaning like WWE, the women's revolution, good matches. And Patrick looked up and said, oh, I'm not going to do an impression. Patrick said, I'm more into my mud wrestling. And Isaac was like, oh, grow up, old man. This is the 21st century.
Ted's not here now to
Yeah.
do these jokes with. Yeah, like it was really weird, their story this week. It seemed to not have enough focus for me. Like it didn't really do anything. Isaac was just being really horrible to Patrick for some reason. Like really
I know, it just came out of the blue for no reason at all.
Because he was on a boat and it was a special week.
Well, it started before they got on the boat. And this kind of prompted Patrick to be like, oh, I know what will make him like me again, telling him I'm his father. And the whole time Sheree was like, no, stop, Patrick, so stop. But every scene where Patrick was in, he was just about to tell Isaac.
And Isaac was overly mean to him. It's really weird. I didn't quite get... It felt like I missed something like last week about that. But yeah, very odd.
Patrick was one of the, 3 or 4, which were throughout Friday's episode,
Missing.
people were, was missing. So he kept saying, where's Whitney? Where's Patrick?
Well, where was Patrick? Like, he wasn't on a lifeboat. Did he probably swam. He was like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Bit of rum. Let's go.
He gets his special juice from underneath his hat, his rum juice. Off he goes. Out through the water like a
he's the
speedboat.
first one there.
Yeah,
like,
he
I'm
probably
a
was.
celeb to get me out of it.
I very much expect him to be the fittest of them all.
I do too. There was no chance he was dying.
I love his promo picture though.
He's a bit cold on
He's
the
in
beach.
a wheelchair. He looks like he's had a stroke.
Not again.
I know we shouldn't laugh, but it's just, if you've not had an opportunity to see the promo photo of all the cast in front of the Thames, Patrick's photo is quite the treat.
And Bex's.
Bex's is fantastic too. Bex looks like, as you posted on Twitter, looks like she's just come home from a night out. It's like 5 a.m. and she's
in the back of a taxi.
Yeah, it's like those pictures you see in the Daily Mail. It's like modern Britain, and you see these kids passed out next to the bin with red vomit down their shirt.
Right, so that's all I've got to say about Patrick. So we're going to go on to our first part of our game, which is a special game because it's anniversary week.
It is a special game.
You can all play along, and then we'll be back to talk about Dennis again. How to put Dennis in every section. It's what he deserves.
It's what he wanted. Very special game this week, as it's anniversary week.
It is.
In Enders. So I have 35 questions, one for every year that EastEnders has been on television.
Ooh.
Yep, and I'm gonna ask you the question. There's 4 multiple choices, and you have to give me the answer. And I'm going to tell you if you're right and wrong through each one.
Good.
You have 3 lifelines as well, which you can use only
Who
once.
wants to be a millionaire?
Yep, you can use only once, but you can use them any time.
I've got no friends to phone.
You don't know what the lifelines are.
Okay, good.
First lifeline is 50-50. That's where
that's
I'll
a good
eliminate.
one.
Yep, I'll eliminate 2 in the answers and leave you with 1 correct and 1 other wrong answer. The other lifeline is Ask Halfway's Hat.
Oh.
And Halfway's Hat will communicate with him, and we'll get him to give you what he thinks the answer would be.
Ooh.
And the final lifeline is Ask the Listeners. If they
It's
get
not
it
gonna help
right,
me now, though, is it?
well, if they get it right, then it adds another point to your score at the end. So the score won't be your final score at the end if you choose to use that lifeline. But you can only use each lifeline once, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good. Okay, here we go. So you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Right, 1985. Question 1. Ali and Sue Osman had a son who tragically died in June 1985. But what was their son's name? Was it A, Hassan, B, Christos, C, Nicholas, or D, Ali Jr.?
A. Hassan.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That's correct. It's
I
A,
know.
Hassan. Okay, wow, cocky. It's cocky start. Moving on to 1986. In this year, Den petitioned for divorce after he discovered that Angie had lied to him about having 6 months to live. But where did Den find out about her deceit? Was it A, listening at the bottom of the Vic stairs, B, from a tape recording during an interview with Kathy, C, on board the Orient Express, or D, on a ferry home from Calais after a booze cruise?
C, Orient Express. Final answer.
That's correct. See, it's not too tough, is it?
No. 87, my favourite year.
87 is the next one. So on a rainy July day in this year, Dot and Ethel have a 2-hander reminiscing about their childhood, wartime soldiers, and when they were most happiest. But who were they babysitting? Was it A, Martin Fowler, B, Vicky Fowler, C, Annie Smith, or D, Rolly Watts?
What is it? Vicky. B? Vicky. Is it B?
Yeah, is that your final answer?
Yes, it is.
That's correct. Well done. Don't forget you have 3 lifelines if you're unsure.
No, I don't need to.
1988. Trevor Short appears on the square to be with his friend Paul Prisley. Trevor finds lodgings with Mo Butcher, but what does Trevor affectionately address his landlady? Is it A, Mrs. Butcher, B, Mrs. B, C, Mrs. Mo, or D, Mobo?
C. Mrs. Mo.
That's correct.
How can I get Trevor one incorrect? He's my favourite character.
Hard to think, isn't it? 1989, and in
Ooh,
this
my
traditional
favourite
year,
year.
in this traditional year when the original showrunners left the show, which character had the highest episode count? Was it A. Doc Cotton, played by June Brown, B. Ian Bill, played by Adam Rudyat, C. Simon Wicks, played by Nick Berry, or D. Pat Butcher, played by Pam St. Clement?
Pat Butcher.
Final answer?
Yep.
That's incorrect. She actually had the lowest of the four. She had
Really?
85. Doc Cotton had 88.
Stupid Doc Cotton.
Don't forget you've got a lifeline if you need it.
No.
That might have been able to help you with that one.
No.
1990 had seen the return of Nick Cotton and he had found God. But he had already returned to steal his mother's money by poisoning her. What meal had he tried to finish her off with? Is it A, a fish pie, B, a steak and kidney pie, C, a chicken and mushroom pie, or D, a shepherd's pie?
Oh. I was expecting for something else to come up then. I didn't listen to any of the answers.
What did you think it was going to be?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Did you not see the trend?
Yeah, I know, but
D's
I'm thinking of a future storyline.
Okay.
Shepherd's pie.
D?
Yep.
That is correct. There you go. You're back on course again.
Mm-hmm.
After that little stumble. 1991, and Eddie Royal was stabbed to death in the Square Gardens.
Was he?
He was, but who discovered him and was later accused for Eddie's murder? Is it A, Clyde Trevernier, B, Nick Cotton, C, Pete Bill, or D, Joe Wallace?
Joe Wallace, that's random. Not him.
Well, you know why Joe
No.
Wallace is there. Because Joe Wallace witnessed you.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah.
Lovely Joe.
Mark's
Clyde.
friend. It was Clyde
Clyde.
Trevernier. Yes, correct. That's quite recent on classic episodes, so it's difficult to find one I didn't think you'd know. On Christmas Eve of 92, Pat had killed a teenage girl when she knocked her down whilst driving over the limit. How long does Pat get sentenced for the hit and run? Is it A, 3 months, B, 6 months, C, 1 year, or D, 3 years? How long was Pat off the square for?
A.
3 months for hit and run.
Yep.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Don't forget you got lifelines.
It might be 6. But then she would have got out early. I'm going to say 6. B, 6.
That's correct. 6.
Ooh.
It's lucky you didn't say final answer, you see.
Yeah.
Don't forget you've got lifelines. I keep repeating this. 1993. This year,
That's my favourite year.
This year, a character died in a car accident whilst escaping the threat of the Chapman family after he started an affair with the head gang leader's wife, Rose. On the same day, Ian had twins and named one of them after him. But who died? Was it A, Nigel Bates, B, Simon Wicks, C, R.I.P. Bill, or D, Danny Taurus?
Obviously, it's our favourite character. They should never killed him off. Big mistake. Pete Bill.
What?
Off-screen death in a car.
Which means he could still be alive.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
correct.
he definitely is.
Danny Taurus, by the way, was a rock and roll singer who was idolised by Pete and Pauline in their youth.
Oh.
It was in 1994 that Sharon Gate was revealed, and Grant discovered that Phil and Sharon had slept together from a tape recording of a conversation between Michelle and Sharon. But Phil almost told Grant earlier after being guilt-stricken from which event? A. Almost crushing Grant when a car collapsed on him in The Archers. B. Killing a man after torching the car lot for Frank to get insurance money. C. Almost poisoning Kathy with a roll from the cafe. Or D. Accidentally recording himself in a sexual act on the internet.
That's Keanu and Sharon, that last one. It's setting the car lot on fire for Frank.
That's
and
correct.
almost killing someone.
He did kill someone.
Yes. A homeless man, so it doesn't matter.
No,
That's how Phil feels.
but that doesn't mean that Phil hasn't killed someone.
No.
That means he is a killer.
It was accidental, though.
1995, and Arthur became the secretary of the Walford Allotment Committee and raised £20,000. But knowing Arthur's past of stealing money, a character used him to transfer the money into another account. Who was that character? Was it A. Billy Piper, B. Willie Roper, C. Sully Dagger, or D. Gilly Wrencher?
Oh, I know this.
Billy Piper, Willie Roper, Sully Dagger, Gilly Wrencher.
B. What was that again?
Willie Roper.
Yeah, it sounds like a name.
They all sound like names.
No, they don't. Yeah, B.
Yes, B is correct. Willie Roper.
Good.
Don't forget you've got lifelines. 1996, and Peggy Mitchell discovered that she had breast cancer. But which local news presenter had her television special aired on the episode, which Peggy watched in the scene during the episode she was coming to terms with the
I know
diagnosis?
I've met her.
It's so have I. Is it A. Sally Taylor, B. Debbie Thrower, C. Joe Kent, or D. Danny Sinha?
A. Sally.
That's correct.
R. Sally.
From BBC Self Today.
That's correct.
Anyone who doesn't live in the BBC Self Today region won't get any of those references.
She interviewed Lorna Fitzgerald in front of a live audience.
She did.
And Anita Dobson.
Yeah, which we watched.
Yes,
and you can listen
that's how I
all
know
the way back to like our first,
try and
second
find
or third
that.
episode. Dig that one up. 1997, and it was the year Pauline discovered that she had a long-lost sister, Maggie, who Lou, her mother, had given up for adoption as it was out of wedlock, but they shared the same father, Albert. The Bills and the Fowlers decided to visit Maggie and the rest of the family, but where did they live? Is it A, Edinburgh, B, Cardiff, C, Dublin, or D, Southampton?
Dublin, Ireland.
Nice little added fact. True, yes. Dublin is where they all lived.
Right.
The very, some might say, xenophobic episode of EastEnders.
One of my favourite years.
What about 1998?
That's one of my favourites.
When Grant discovered that Tiffany was trying to escape the country with Courtney, he ran out of the Vic with their child and Tiffany gave chase. But who hit her with the car? Was it A, Beppe DeMarco, B, Steve Owen, C, Billy Mitchell, or D, Frank Butcher?
D, Frank Butcher. Final answer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, one more for this part, and then we'll do the second half later. In 1999, in July, Dot gets arrested because she offers a police officer what? Is it A, a counterfeit video, B, a bribe to not press charges against Sonia, C, herbal tea which contained marijuana, or D, a place to stay, mistakenly taking it as a sexual pass?
C, marijuana. Dot gets high. It's an episode I've watched recently.
That's correct. Well done. So you've got all but one correct. If you'd used your lifeline, you might have a perfect score at the moment.
I refuse.
But stay tuned. Keep listening to see if Ben does indeed use a lifeline at any point.
No.
You're not going to ask halfway?
I don't know.
Halfway's
if I'm really
fair.
stuck, but...
Okay. And keep listening for the second half of the anniversary quiz.
Right, so we're here to talk about the Mitchells, which was personally my least favourite episode of the week. Thursday's episode.
It wasn't that bad.
It just turned into a little bit of a mess. Like by Thursday, they realised, well, maybe we've done a bit too much here. Like, there's too much
crossover.
Yeah, it just all got a bit messy. Like, everyone was just popping up in different sets and locations and guns and hijacking and
it
was all over the place.
This might be a perfect opportunity just to say that whoever is the continuity on EastEnders completely deserves to have themselves a pay rise because. But it was just fantastic. Like, there were scenes, like, a memorable one for me is when Ian's looking through the window in Bobby, they've been smashed for Bobby, and in the background you saw Ben. On Thursday's episode
Mick
you then saw...
in the park
as
well.
It's in the park, and then on the Thursday's episode you saw Ben in the background looking on at Ian. So the same shot.
And you could hear the fight from Shirley and Linda, and then Tina, and then Kathy said something, and she walked over to someone else. Yeah.
So it was really great. It was really great,
It
and
was.
that must have been painstakingly difficult to do, and they did it. And
Well, it took them 6 weeks to film just the boat bit.
Wow.
And they normally film like 2 weeks worth, 4 weeks worth in that time, and they filmed 4 episodes.
I mean, this is what happens when you come off the set as well, because it's a controlled environment on the set, but then when you're starting filming outside of the set. But I'm presuming that all the water scenes was done in the water tank in Elstree?
Not in Elstree. They found a cheaper one, like, nearby.
With their own set?
No, they found one. There's been so many interviews. I think it was Danny Dyer that said that. It was a different water tank. It wasn't in Elstree.
Because doesn't Elstree have the 007
They have one,
set?
yeah, but they didn't use that.
They didn't use it?
Too expensive. They found a cheaper one.
Doesn't make any sense. That's their own studio
Ask
complex.
Danny Dyer.
But maybe I might.
But we're not talking about Danny Dyer. We're talking about the Mitchells. And they've got guns.
I just hate
Callum.
Guns. When they use guns as a threat, it just feels
It's just stupid.
so weak, doesn't
it? And like Ben holding up Sharon was just... It was like, really? Like, this pregnant woman, you're going to shoot her?
And all these people kind of sneaking around as well. It's like Ben snuck into Ian's house and was able to go when Sharon walked by. Phil got knocked out by Billy. I mean, Phil can barely do anything without shuffling or making a grunting noise.
Puffing or sweating.
But somehow he was able to sneak out from behind their sofa.
And they weren't exactly like a different room. He was literally... 10 centimetres behind them?
Far. Well, they were having a conversation.
He had to get up, work out what just happened by being knocked out, and walk out without them noticing.
Also, don't forget, he's recently had a wound at the back of his head when he was hit by a wrench by Stacey. So that must be still quite a sore wound.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. And also when Kathy turned up when Ben had a gun, and she was just like, "Oh, Ben." Yeah. And she didn't really react or like do anything.
Boy. Yeah.
Like, oh, for God's sake, Kathy. But that's fine. I mean, what about Callum? Should we talk about him for a bit? Because he was his own little situation he was going through.
Puppy Callum.
Puppy dog.
He's like Scrappy Doo, isn't he?
He's so useless. I mean, I love Callum, bless him, but he was really showing his they were reminding us of he is still halfway.
Yeah.
I guess because he was clever. He got his handcuffs off by scraping them on a metal thing, and thought, oh, I'll go down these stairs backwards.
No, it wasn't the stairs backwards. He found a door that was locked up, and then it wasn't a ladder or something.
He was like going down something backwards, and then fell into that.
He fell back into a dumpster. Yeah.
Like Toy Story 3. It reminded me of the end of that when they're all
in the furnace
going into the fire. I thought it was going to start crushing him or something.
No, well, thankfully it's not. But he seems to be unconscious. But I can't imagine what was in that dumpster. He landed on
boxes, didn't he?
Yeah, it must have been a fairly soft fall.
And Shirley was there, like kind of looking, but not really.
Well, Shirley was like, when you were told to, if I said to you, "Oh Ben, get us the ketchup," and you're like, "I can't find the ketchup," and I'm like, "It's in the and that was that kind of like that, wasn't it? That was what it was.
Halfway, she didn't care, did she? Silly, but poor Callum. He's just there.
But I like that Shirley called him halfway. She started off by going, "Callum, Callum," and then it was just like, "Oh, I know, halfway."
But that did make me laugh, walking backwards down that thing and falling. And he didn't make it to his police training interview, but
I mean, it's a good story to tell though.
I think it's good that he didn't go, because I don't think he would have passed much.
The first test is to walk forwards. I mean, Callum knows how to walk forwards. He knows how to run, Oh, yeah. He was running from his wedding ceremony to the Vic to the flat, all over the place in September.
It was a bit cold.
But now, I mean, he must be feeling a bit despondent because he has been kept in that warehouse for 2 days.
That's true.
No food, no water.
No toilet.
Presumably, doing the Leo and kind of going to toilet where he sat. Yeah.
Like a camel.
Yeah, that's it. Keeping it inside.
And Ben was obviously, he was full, Callum's like my number one priority here.
That was cool, don't you think? That he forgot about his dad. It wasn't about impressing his dad anymore. It was all about looking after
Callum.
Not impressing Callum.
No,
he loved Callum. He wanted to make sure he was safe.
Still does if he's still alive.
Callum!
Oh, that was stupid. The ending was silly. Why was he in the square shouting Callum?
Because he misses him.
Yeah, Callum's not in the square.
He was torn inside in the torment. It was no better when they do those shots in films when they fall on their knees and go, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I could have probably done without the Callum and Ben story. Like, maybe that was the one thing that was one too much.
But then that was the motive for Ben to be there.
Yeah, Ben didn't need to.
And then damage his hearing aid and just hear like... this high-pitched noise.
Because they all got on the boat as well, which was like amazing somehow. Like Phil got on the boat, Ben got on the boat, Keanu. They were meant to have a ticket.
I don't know if there was a ticketing system.
Yes, there was, because Rainey and Stuart got given one from Jean.
Oh yeah. The captain clearly did not care.
No. relation to Reg Cox, isn't he? So. Don't know what he's doing.
No.
But the fight scene was good, and like all the external shots of the boat and them fighting along it, and then it was very cleverly done, like all the choreography. Yeah. But it was just all a bit macho for me.
I liked
also, sorry, but
no, go on.
Phil's line of like when he told Keanu like, "I loved you as a son, I gave you my keys."
Oh,
that really stuck in my mind all week.
Funnily enough, that personal touch was the one bit I really liked about it.
The bit of character of Phil, finally.
Well, not just Phil, but also Keanu, because you finally learned that Keanu, this whole thing came about because in a way he wanted a father figure, and perhaps he made a bit of a mistake with Sharon, and that was the one thing that ruined it for him, for Sharon, and for Phil. So Keanu at that point perhaps realised that he was the problem, he was the mistake, and that him coming back this time thinking that he was going to go forthright for revenge was actually just sticking the dagger in further for Phil, and perhaps he properly mucked up now. Because Phil just point blank said, "You're lying, I don't believe you, and you're going to be dead." And the only thing that stopped him was Ben, his overpowering love for
and
Callum.
a gun to his head.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ben put the gun to Phil's head and said, I will shoot you because you're no longer my number one priority anymore.
Callum's in bed with me. Trumps you, Dad, I'm afraid.
Callum trumps
Phil.
Oh, okay.
Because he wakes up in bed with him, you see. Much more important.
Well, we've not seen them in bed together yet, though.
I know, one day we will.
Right.
I did question like how Phil kind of said to Keanu that he saw him as a son more than Ben, kind of, which was a bit weird. Like, what, because he was a straight man?
That was again the cruel. And again, maybe Ben heard that, which is another reason why he kind of just thought,
"I'll blow your head off."
Yes, screw you, Phil. I'm not bothering with you anymore.
I mean, how brave would it have been if they would have killed Phil then?
What, and in the hands of Ben as well? What would that be, Ben's second kill?
Yeah.
So there we go. So he's not like he couldn't.
But they didn't. They went with a 13-year-old boy called Dennis.
They did. did. I have to say that I thought that Phil was going to be the one who was going. I thought that Steve McFadden...
What, a little secret exit.
I thought Steve McFadden would have used this as an opportunity to basically hang up his black leather coat, his black jeans and his black t-shirt.
Would have been made sense.
And call it a day.
But I think if he was going to leave, BBC would just they would publicise the hell out of that to get as many ratings as they could. A bit like what they did with Peggy.
Yeah, true. I suppose if someone's going to leave that big a deal, then perhaps they would want more people to watch than perhaps just doing a secret exit for Dennis. But I think it would have been brave of the BBC to have done that. And I think it would have been... I think the iPlayer visits would be insane. Can you imagine anyone who would have missed it and heard in the news is like, oh, hang on, what's going on here?
But I mean, it is interesting that obviously we know Dennis dies, everyone. Got to mention Dennis.
Did Dennis die this episode?
He did.
Because I forget what you said.
On screen.
1 minute into... On screen, yeah. They
screen
actually, all they did was put a cover over his head.
That's what they did to Mel.
He could come back.
But, Phil technically caused this because he pushed Keanu into the steering wheel and made the ship crash.
But none of this would have happened if we hadn't gone all the way back to Keanu.
Keanu wouldn't have happened if Phil wasn't horrible to Sharon in the marriage.
Or had bought her some nice perfume from the
airport.
Not chocolate.
But it's interesting. I bring that up because Phil also inadvertently caused the death of his dad, Dennis.
That's
Rickman.
right, Dennis Rickman.
He's killed the other Dennis.
He did, because he encouraged him to go and... Was it Johnny Allen? Well, he encouraged him to go to Johnny Allen and beat
suggested.
him up. Yeah, more than a suggestion. It was quite a big prod into the direction of saying...
Sam Mitchell, Phil's sister, she was to do with Den's death, kind of, so... All the Mitchells have a hand in Den or Dennis's death.
Destroying Sharon's life. And yet Sharon always goes back to Phil. I mean, I always knew that Keanu would never be good enough for Sharon, and ultimately we found this out this week as well because Keanu said that... She always said she said she wasn't going to go with Keanu because after she had that chat with Dennis in the cafe saying we're going to go away, and Dennis was like, I don't like this world anymore.
And it was really stupid, she promised that Keanu was dead as well, even though she knew he was alive.
Yeah, but she at that point had decided that she wasn't going with Keanu, so before even Ben had introduced himself to Sharon and saying you talk to Keanu and talk him out of, or tell him where Callum is, Sharon had made that choice at the cafe before all this. This was right at the beginning of the day, and
she was still lying to Dennis, which I thought, oh god, come on, Sharon.
But she was, because she didn't think that Dennis would find out, which is a bit... No, it's not the right excuse.
Sharon.
And Dennis did find out, and that's the reason why Dennis ended up on the boat.
Another lie.
But I think Dennis is really sweet as well, because he almost repented his sin, to be fair. He did apologise to Ian, and he said what he did with Bobby was wrong. And he did apologise to Sharon, because he never saw Sharon before he basically went onto the boat, because he said to her in the cafe that he was sorry that he got involved with the Mitchells and believed Phil, and he didn't want to be part of that world anymore. So Dennis had said sorry to the right people. So in a way... his death was sanctimonious.
He'll go to heaven.
And he's going up. He's going up where Halfway's hat is. He's not going down.
Not where Dennis Watts is.
Where Dennis Watts is, yeah. Again, I know I said the moment I knew he was going to die was the door thing, but there was so many things leading up to it.
There was.
You could, as I say, when he said to Ian, I'm sorry, and just everything just said, this boy's not long for this earth anymore.
Such a shame. And it's interesting to see what it will do to Sharon as a character. It's like another... mum on the square who's got a dead child, and she's so alienated, all her family are dead.
Single mum.
She's
not young either. Not that I don't love Sharon, but she's not young either.
She's got a baby. Is there going to be a thing where she has postnatal depression?
Postnatal.
Yeah, the one that Stacey had. Is she going to not bond with the baby? Do you think? Because she's going to always be thinking about Dennis.
No, I think she's going to be super protective of that baby. She was already very protective of Dennis, wasn't she?
Because he was a miracle baby.
He was a miracle baby, but also he had no dad, so she was very precious about Dennis, almost to a fault, which is why Dennis almost kind of wanted to get away from her and pull away from her, stranglehold.
Her Denny.
So I think she's going to be ridiculously protective, not letting anyone hold the new boy, not like anyone near it. I think she's just going to be ridiculously protective.
It's going to be a bit like what Ronnie was when she did the baby swap.
Yes, in fact, that's spot on. I think that's exactly what it's going to be like. But at least Sharon will get the sympathy card back. She's already made friends back with Kathy, which is good.
Yeah, and the Carters all said they'll be here for her every step of the way. I bet Shirley will they'll become friends now.
Yeah,
Shirley and Sharon.
For me, it's a shame that Shirley and Sharon aren't friends yet, because they are actually very similar, and they're
It's Pat and Peggy, isn't it?
exactly
But more extreme.
Exactly, and their exchange of words is always a dream. And I think, as you say, Pat and Peggy is exactly what it will become if they let it.
Mm. Yeah, she had a boy, no name yet, and she told Keanu to go.
Yep,
and
but quite loudly.
Yeah, and Keanu had his another exit, like his third exit recently, where Karen was the only one there. Bernie didn't bother turning up.
Oh yeah, Bernie, he was the one who brought him back.
Yeah, and was wanted to see him, but
don't want to see you anymore. Now you've killed someone. Off you go.
Yeah, he's gone on a fake video of murder. He's left on an aeroplane at the airport, and now he's left on the tube. So he's had all the exits, hasn't he?
And not one Julius theme.
I know. So stingy, aren't they?
More on that later.
Right, so we're going to go on to part 2 of our quiz, where you see how brilliant I do.
Yes, well, you refused point blank to use any of your safety barriers.
And then we'll do the rest of the week where we talk about the bills, which also, everyone, involves Dennis.
Is Dennis dead?
Is he?
I don't know. So welcome back to the 35th anniversary EastEnders quiz. How did you guys get along so far? We've got up to 1999. Ben got 14 right so far, 1 wrong.
That's right.
He's got 3 lifelines, just to remind you. It's 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Halfway's Hat.
Helpful.
Or Ask the Listeners.
Not helpful.
Oh, wow. That's you he's insulting there, everyone.
As in, right now it's not helpful.
Yeah, but it could add an extra point later on.
No, I refuse.
So, are you ready to carry on?
Yeah, of course I am.
Starting with the millennium 2000.
Oh yeah, I love that. My favourite year.
Sonia gives birth to Rebecca, or Bex unexpectedly, as the ambulance starts to arrive. Who steps into the role as the midwife? Is it A, Mo Harris?
Chloe, actually.
B, Pauline Fowler? C, Peggy Mitchell? D, Kat Slater?
Big Mo.
That's right.
Mo Harris.
Brought her into the world. That's
did.
Correct. Well done. Sorry, I forgot. I need to mark this down. 2001, Dot finally finds happiness with Jim Branning, and on Christmas Eve he went down on one knee and proposed to her. But in which London landmark did he ask the question? Was it A, the Houses of Parliament, B, the Natural History Museum, C, the Tower of London, or D, the London Eye?
Well, this was on EastEnders Instagram yesterday, and I answered it correctly.
Oh, great. Okay.
London Eye.
That's correct. I didn't know that. If I did know that, I would have changed that question. 2002.
Mm-hmm.
You should like this year. It's got all your favourites in it.
It's one of my favourites.
After Steve Owen dies in a car crash after a chase with Phil Mitchell, Mel is arrested for unknowingly signing paperwork on Steve's behalf, linking her to what crime? A, drug smuggling, B, people trafficking, C, money laundering, or D, badger baiting?
Badger baiting? What's that?
When you kill
Hunt badgers?
Badgers, yeah.
Oh, maybe it's that.
It's rife in London.
Money laundering.
You sure you don't want to use a lifeline?
What are the other options? Badger, money, drugs.
I love the panic. A, drug smuggling. B, people trafficking. C, money laundering. Or D, badger baiting. Don't forget, you've got 3 lifelines. You've got 50-50.
No.
Ask Halfway's Hat.
She escapes by taking Phil's money.
Right. So is that where you're linking the money laundering
I don't know. Can't be human trafficking, because that was a 2019 issue. Did Steve do drugs? No, I'm going to say money laundering, even if it's wrong.
You've got lifelines. I'm just
But I refuse to use them.
You're ruining the fun for everyone.
Fine, I'll use 50-50.
Okay, computer, if you could take away... No. Okay, your 50-50 choices are... I could be really cruel now. A, drug smuggling.
Mm-hmm.
C, money laundering.
I'll say drugs then.
That's correct. It is drugs. You're correct. A, drug smuggling was what she was arrested for. 2003, Sharon is surprised after Den returns from his presumed death. But at which location did he walk into the shadows from? Was it A, the Queen Vic, B, Bridge Street, C, the nightclub, or D, the community centre?
Nightclub. I heard that on the radio recently.
Did you? It was meant to be a really good interview, that. That's correct. Angie's Den was the nightclub. 2004, and Barry Evans met his death.
My favourite year.
In the Scottish Moors in 2004, and Janine had conned him and inherited everything, leaving his only son after his 3-year marriage with Natalie Price with nothing. What was his son's name? Is it A, Max, B, Jack, C, Derek, or D, Bradley?
I forgot we even had a son. With Natalie? Did it actually turn out to be Barry's son, or was it Ricky's secretly? What were the options?
A, Max, B, Jack, C, Derek, D, Bradley. Don't forget you can
What year is this?
Your favourite year, 2004. Don't forget you can ask Halfway's Hat or the listeners.
Max.
Saying A, Max.
Yep.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
What is it then?
It was Jack.
Oh, so close.
He had a son called Jack. They've got lifelines. They're there to use.
No.
If this was for real stakes, I reckon you'd have used one by now. 2005, and this year we were introduced to Honey Edwards, so called because she was paid as a honey trap by who to catch their partner out? Is it A. Chrissy Watts, B. Tanya Branning, C. Yolandi Truman, or D. Dot Branning?
Yolandi hired her to catch Patrick.
That's correct.
He's the one wearing a hat.
That's the line. Yeah. Well done. Correct. 2006, Martin discovers that Sonia has started an affair with Naomi and it tears their relationship apart. But how did Sonia and Naomi first meet? Was it A, during a night out, B, in the cafe, C, looking at the same item in the market, or D, working together?
I was going to say a works do, which could be a night out or working together. Ooh. So I'm going to say working together.
That's correct. They were nursing
together.
Yeah, no, that's how to get to that. Yes, nurses. And yeah, that's how they met. 2007, after trying to find love on an internet chat room, Libby Fox decides to meet Einstein 27 in person. But who does her secret admirer end up being? Is it A, Gus Smith, B, Darren Miller, C, Tamwa Massoud, or D, Owen Turner?
Who's Owen Turner? Is that her?
That's her dad.
That sounds weird enough.
Got a lifeline? 2 of them, actually.
No, I'm not using
Come on, you got to use something.
No way, I can work this out. What are the other ones? The Miller? Darren?
A, Gus Smith,
No.
B, Darren Miller,
Yeah.
C, Tamwa Massoud,
No.
and D, Owen Turner.
It seems too obvious to be Tamwa.
Einstein 27, who she met on the internet.
So I'm assuming he's 27 years old.
That was
or
their
is pretending
username.
To be.
Well, I think people just put random numbers at the end of things.
So it can't be her dad because she would have had a picture and the dad would have known.
Well, yes, but maybe he was doing it to teach her a lesson about internet safety.
That's a weird thing.
I
they
posted
do
this for everyone at school to
Ackley
see.
Bridge.
Yeah.
I always want to say Darren Miller.
Should you go with your gut?
Yeah, say Darren Miller. I don't know why.
Final answer?
Yeah.
That's correct, Darren Miller.
Oh, good.
He'd been chasing her for days, months.
As
even. You would. 2008, and Wellard died this year in emotional scenes, but why did he have to be put down? Was it A, he was fed chocolate by Bianca, B, stung by a nest of wasps which Ricky tried to remove from the loft, C, Tiffany put lipstick on him, or D, hit by Roxy's Jeep whilst chasing a bull?
Hit by a Jeep by chasing a bull.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Incorrect. He was fed chocolate by Bianca. In the same year, Pat got hit by Roxy's Jeep for an extra point. Do you know the reason why?
Why she got hit? She was in the road.
Yeah, obviously, but why was she in the road? Who was she chasing, if that helps?
What year?
2008.
2008. Pat was chasing Wellard.
No,
I don't know.
he got hit by the Jeep after eating chocolate.
No, I don't know.
Pat got hit whilst chasing Stephen Bill, because she discovered that he had kidnapped Lucy and hid her in a caravan.
Oh.
This is when also Stephen kissed
a boy. Don't know.
Jane's brother.
Oh, Christian.
This was also the year when Stephen kissed Christian.
No wonder Jane hated him.
Yeah. Well, that and shooting her in the stomach so she can't have children. 2008, on this anniversary, isn't the first time when Whitney Dean had attempted to throw a knife into a body of water to conceal evidence. After discovering one of her family had stabbed someone with a knife she found in a bag. But which family member was she helping? Was it A?
I know.
Was it A, her mum, Deborah Dean?
No.
B, her brother, Ryan Malloy? C, her dad, Nathan Dean?
No, dead.
Or D, her half-sister, Tiffany Butcher?
Nah.
So you're saying B?
Sexy Ryan.
Sexy Ryan?
Yeah. The mum warned her about him.
And he warned her about her. It was a very confusing time. But yes, you're right. Ryan Malloy, he had stabbed someone, so she hid the evidence. So he could be on the square for a bit longer.
Good.
Phil got locked in a room in 2010 by Peggy to help him get over his crack cocaine addiction. But he misleads Billy to let him out and punishes his mum for betrayal by doing what? A, locks Peggy into a room. B, sets fire to the Queen Vic. C, gives Peggy drugs in a drink. Or D, puts oil on the stairs.
Sets fire to the Vic.
Yes, and do you want to do an impression of
no.
Peggy? No?
Cow!
No!
Cow!
Oh yeah, ding 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 ding! But when she's outside as well, she's going, my pa! 2011, EastEnders won Best Wedding on
my favourite year.
Well, they won Best Wedding on the Inside Soap Awards. But which wedding won the gong? Was it A, Greg Jessup to Tanya Branning, B, Tamwa Massoud to Afia Khan, C, Fat Boy to Mercy Olubunmi,
No.
or D, Youssef Khan to Zainab Massoud?
God, what did that win?
Best Wedding.
What, of the year?
Yeah.
Out of all the soaps?
Yeah.
All those rubbish characters?
But they won Best Wedding.
Who were the first ones?
Greg Jessup to Tanya Branning, Tamwa Massoud to Afia Khan, C, Fat Boy to Mercy Olubunmi,
No.
or D, Youssef Khan
Probably
to Zainab
D
Massoud?
then, even though it's pretty crap, but wasn't that like the fire thing?
No, that was not the same.
No, maybe that one, I guess. They all sound terribly boring.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that. It was Tamwa Massoud to Afia Khan.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
They also won Best Soap that year.
What load of rubbish.
Don't forget you got lifelines.
No.
Even the listeners now know that you've still got 2 lifelines. We're in 2012, only 8 more to go. So you might want to think about using them.
No.
By the end of this year, it was revealed who Kat had secretly started an affair with behind her husband
God.
Alfie's back. But it was a really bad year, 2012.
Mm.
But who was it? Was it A. Michael Moon, B. Max Branning, C. Ray Dixon, or D. Derek Branning?
Derek Branning.
Correct. Let's not dwell
Who
on
did
that
Kat?
too much. Who did Kat?
Hmm.
Trying to be rude. 2013, after submitting evidence to the police about a gang he was once involved in, Liam Butcher had to leave Walford amidst threats to his life. Who did he end up staying with? Was it A. Carol Jackson, B. David Wicks, C. Robbie Jackson, or D. Ricky Butcher?
What year?
2013.
So Pat's dead.
Pat wasn't an answer.
No, I know, but like it depends if Pat's dead or not. Otherwise, who's on the square still?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Liam Butcher, probably Ricky.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Correct, Ricky Butcher. In 2014, having already slept with Fatboy 2 years prior, which character passionately kisses him again at her own engagement party? Is it A. Denise Fox, B. Kat Moon, C. Ronnie Mitchell, or D. Lauren Branning?
What, kisses Fat Boy at their own engagement?
At her own engagement party, but this was prior that she slept with Fatboy as well 2 years before. There will be an explanation to this after you've got the answer.
Right, so what is it? Lauren, Kat.
A. Denise Fox, B. Kat Moon, C. Ronnie Mitchell, D. Lauren Branning.
Everyone else seems like Lauren's the only possible one. Everyone else seems a bit old for Fat Boy.
You can ask Halfway's Hat, who is waiting on the line right now. I can hear him squealing
He's busy.
with excitement. No, he's excited. Or I can throw this out to the audience to answer on your behalf.
I'm going to say Lauren. No, she's not being engaged though, is she? I'm going to say, was it Ronnie or Roxy?
Ronnie.
I'll say Ronnie then. Bit of a tart.
You think Ronnie slept with Halfway? Sorry. Well, maybe. Ronnie slept with Fatboy.
Yeah. I think maybe Denise did. No, I'll do Ronnie. It's a bit of a goer.
Okay. Are you sure you don't want to use lifeline?
I don't want to use lifelines.
Okay.
It's either her or Denise.
So what's your answer? Final answer. Come on.
Ronnie. What is it? No,
Ronnie
Ronnie.
Mitchell.
Ronnie?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not Ronnie. I'm thinking of Roxy. She's a tart.
I said it about 3
yeah,
times.
I know. I'm getting confused.
Okay. So
it must be Denise then.
Denise is your final
Yep.
answer. Denise is the right answer. Eventually, yes. The reason was because she was engaged to Ian Beale.
Ugh.
Jane returned, and so then Ian started showing his affections back to Jane, and Denise thought that there was no point in them getting together.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
So
fascinating.
it's a younger men, doesn't she, Denise?
I she really does. She had quite a few nice-looking guys, hasn't she?
Mm.
Just a shame
And
that
Jack.
she dampened the gene pool with Phil Mitchell, the one she had a child with.
Oh, yeah.
2015, and which of these characters?
My favourite year.
Which of these characters arrived during Live Week for the soap's 30th anniversary? Was it A. Carmel Kasimi, B. Gavin Sullivan, C. Vincent Hubbard, or D. Ollie Carter? They all came in 2015, but only one of them appeared first in Live Week. Was it A. Carmel Kasimi, B. Gavin Sullivan, C. Vincent Hubbard, or D. Ollie Carter?
30th.
Their 30th anniversary. They all came in 2015. Don't forget, Halfway's Hat is waiting to help.
It's not Gavin, because Kathy came back from the dead.
I'm just going to have a quick word of Halfway's Hat. Yeah, no, he doesn't want to talk to you. Yeah, I know it's upsetting. Okay, all right, you carry on doing that then. Okay, he's settled. So you don't think it's Gavin?
No. What were the other ones?
Carmel Kasimi. Come on, pump it out. Carmel Kasimi? No. Okay, Vincent Hubbard?
No.
Ollie Carter?
No. Ollie Carter? No, it can't be Ollie. Maybe it was Vincent. With his he had roses and a gun, didn't he? I'm gonna say Vincent.
Yeah?
Sounds a bit weird, but...
Well, it may sound weird, but it's right. Vincent Hubbard. 26th of May, Carmel Kasimi. 21st of August, Gavin Sullivan. 17th of February was Vincent. And the 12th of May was Ollie Carter. All in 2015.
He came back from a cruise ship or something, didn't he? Or something weird. He had a flower and guns.
He was there being a bit gangstery, yeah.
Mysterious. He knew Ronnie.
2016, before a tragic homophobic attack on Paul Coker and Ben Mitchell, they both had tattoos on their ring fingers to declare their commitment for each other. But what were the tattoos of? Was it A, a ring, B, the date they met, C, each other's names, or D, a Lady Gaga lyric?
Their names.
Correct.
Because when one of them was dead, they phoned Phil and said, it's Ben who's dead because he's got Ben on his hand.
His own name on his hand. Oh, Halfway's Hat said that he knew that.
So did I, so he can go away.
Wow. 2017, while drunk and having taken sleeping pills, Michelle swerves out of the way of someone and drives into which building?
I know the answer.
Is it A, Kathy's, B, McClunky's, C, Bill's Place, or D, the laundrette?
Fish and chip shop.
Which is?
Bill's Place.
Which is a pun on?
A fish.
That's correct.
I think Kush is in the fish and chip shop.
He is.
There you go.
There you go. Well done.
You're welcome.
Clever you. In 2018, who shot Mick Carter by mistake during a botched heist, and on the same day, Arshad Mariam and Masood Ahmed arrived? Is it A, Shirley Carter, B, Phil Mitchell, C, Keanu Taylor, or D, Callum Halfway Highway?
It's...
All right, calm down.
Do you think Halfway's Hat will know?
But it's up to you.
No, I don't want to ask him. It
When
was
he's screaming in my ear. He's screaming in my ear.
It's not his quiz, it's my quiz.
Wow.
Callum, Halfway Highway. Halfway.
That's correct. Any listeners, by the way, that was hoping to hear Halfway's Hat this episode is clearly disappointed. In 2019, this year saw the death of Dr. Legg while in Dot's care, but which of the following has not died while being cared for by Dot? A, Ethel Skinner, B, Nick Cotton, C, Jim Branning, D, Donna Ludlow.
Jim.
And do you know
he died on his own accord in his care home.
But do you know why Dot wasn't there to comfort him on his last few minutes on Earth?
No. I do know because he tells her to go and he'll be fine. I can't remember where it is. Can't remember.
She was in prison at the time.
Oh, that's weird.
Like, final question. This is it.
This is 2020. Who dies on the boat?
Yeah, no. I was thinking of doing that and then I thought, no. As of the airing of Friday the 21st February episode of EastEnders, how many episodes have there been? A, 6,084. B, 6,091. C, 6,101. D, 6,148.
What were they again? I can't remember them. 600.
How many episodes of EastEnders have there been?
Yeah.
6,084, 6,091, 6,101, 6,148.
B.
What made you think it's B?
91.
You just stabbed in the dark, didn't you?
Yeah.
You can ask the listeners if you wanted.
No.
Ask Halfway's Hat.
No.
Halfway's Hat might not give you the right answer.
Don't care. I'm not asking him.
So you're saying B on your very last question. That's your final answer.
Yeah.
Incorrect. It's
That's
A,
fine.
6,084.
I nearly said that.
It was the lower amount. How did you do on our big
Very well.
anniversary quiz without the help of
Anyone?
Well, you did use 50-50.
Only because you made me.
I thought it was a fun little change up for the game, but obviously not. Got 31 correct, 4 incorrect.
Good.
Do you want to know what that is a percentage?
95%. I don't know.
If you get that right, you get 100% of the question. 88%.
Good. That's the year. My favourite year. 88.
There we go. There you go. So it all goes back round in circle. I hope you guys enjoyed the anniversary quiz. Let us know how many you got correct if you played along.
You have to wait another 30 years for another one now.
Another 35 years. You don't even know what anniversary it is. And that's it.
Cool. I won, basically.
Good.
Right, before we talk about the demise of Dennis Rickman, 13-year-old boy drowned on the Thames, we've got the Max Branning is trash storyline. And also Lauren Branning's trash too. Off screen. At least she's off screen. Jacqueline Jostle was like, no, I ain't coming back for this.
I've got more important things. Like frozen birthday parties.
And cookery sections on Lorraine.
Oh, yeah.
At home with my perfect husband.
And my acting school, which I use for children's birthday parties.
For myself.
Yeah, and parties for myself for winning I'm a Celebrity. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that, but she literally sat in the middle of a room.
This is.
Yes, she sat in the middle of a room while people applauded her to the theme tune of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
That's what you expect from Queen of the Jungle.
It was on Instagram.
Queen of the Jungle.
Pitiful.
Max is the Queen of the Thames because he got very upset. Like really upset because Jack spent all his money apparently on his credit card on Lauren.
On Lauren, yeah.
So God knows what she's buying.
I mean, the police force don't pay what they used to, do they anymore?
Or Lauren's asking Uncle Jack for, she's asking for
ridiculous
help,
things. What surprise is Lauren?
Yeah, she wants designer help probably.
Yeah.
Uncle Jack, I need some new trainers for Louis, baby Louis. Can they be designer Calvin Klein? Thanks.
They only last 1 month, but I really need them.
A new Diamante walking stick. Can you get it for me? Thanks.
That iPhone 11? Yeah, I need one of them. Yeah, my old one's broken. Threw it in the water.
But it's very odd that Jack's kept this quiet this whole time.
Very quiet.
Denise knew, apparently.
Yeah, but, what goes on behind closed doors? Don't need to tell
we just
everyone.
never see it, do we? It's only a soap.
That's it.
It's only a soap about people's lives. We don't need to see these things.
It only needs to be revealed like in the middle of a very traumatic anniversary week.
A sinking boat. But yeah, he's like helping her and Max gets upset because...
Oh, Max.
Lauren didn't ask him, I think.
What do you mean?
He's bought a new hat.
Oh, his stupid hat. This stupid blooming
Looks like his dad.
flat cap. Yeah.
But I don't know why he was so upset. Like he's upset because Lauren didn't ask him, or because Jack didn't tell him that he was helping Lauren.
It is exactly that. He's upset because Lauren had this secret and Max wasn't told, and Jack knew, and so did Denise, and so yeah.
Very odd. And he didn't want to take a life jacket from Jack.
No, because he's a
Get my own.
petty little git. Yeah.
Although they did hug on the boat when they saved. Who did they save? Jack and Thingy.
They saved Ben.
Oh, that was
because
it.
I was
they hugged
encouraging.
each other.
I was encouraging Ben to pull
Yeah, Max in, kill Max.
in. Yeah, and I was hoping that was going to be Max's end.
That would have been good. Max was sudden death, but no, they hugged at the end, so that's that, I guess.
Good.
And I guess we'll find out why Peter's back and why Lauren needs help.
Oh yeah, Peter's back. Sorry, I forgot. We should mention that.
Well, we'll mention that in the Bill bit.
Oh, okay.
This is the Branning bit.
One in, one out. You see, Peter in, Dennis out.
Yeah.
That's the way the soap's
No
about.
room for Lauren.
No, not yet. Well, no. Bex is leaving.
Oh yeah. Recast Lauren can come in.
Sorry if that's a spoiler for anyone, but it's quite openly said.
It is.
Quite public.
Yeah, that's it for the Brannings, really. Jack spent all his money by accident.
Yeah.
Denise don't care.
And Max just was a moaning Myrtle the whole time. Typical Max. I mean, I do feel a bit sorry for... It was Max played by...
Jake Wood.
Jake Wood. I feel sorry for him because he's been doing all right, actually, recently. And he even had a glimpse of moment this week when...
Yeah, with Bobby, he's quite good.
He said, that was Bobby, when Ian mentioned that Bobby's been, beaten up. But then kind of just demise it with, what are you doing on the ship then? And it's like, oh, for God's sake, Max, just shut up.
Idiot.
But he is an idiot. And it must be quite demoralising for Jake Wood just to think, you know what, they're really building my character back up again now. I've stopped being this kind of womanising idiot that tried to scheme. And also, there's the big debate whether he killed Stephen Bill. It's now official. If you go to the page of deaths, it says that he was killed by Max Branning from an injury caused by him being pushed against the bar.
I'm glad about that.
So...
Although now Ian's technically killed Dennis. So.
I know. Who hasn't killed someone in EastEnders?
Sharon, the Queen.
I'm desperately racking my brain to think if she has.
No, she hasn't.
Kind of.
No,
she made Tom go into the fire, her fireman husband, boyfriend.
She didn't want him to go.
Oh, I thought she did. I thought she encouraged him to.
She goes, Tom, the firemen are here now. You don't have to. He says, I do. And then he died.
Well, she has technically killed Dennis on My Son's Life.
No, that was Ian. If you're going to go... It's Phil if you go down that route. We've already said that.
Or Keanu.
Or Ben.
There's a lot of blood on people's hands.
Or the captain by leaving the keys in the door. In that one door.
No, and also just letting Dennis on the boat. A
With
13-year-old boy. Yeah, with no ticket and underage drinking.
Oh, we let everyone on. Bex was on drugs, she was on. Everyone's welcome on the boat.
Yeah, come on board. It's a debauchery.
Right, so we'll talk about the Ian half of the Dennis storyline. We kind of talked a bit about it, but not really. But he had been putting things online about Bobby, which is where all this started.
Dennis has, not Ian.
Yes. And there was a really good scene with Bobby, Habiba and Ikra, I thought, when those that gang followed them.
Scene.
But the writing of it and how gross, he was grabbing himself and going, oh yeah, have some of this.
This is halal.
Yeah. So, but I thought
it was perfect.
It was really not as a hard word. It wasn't good, but the writing of it was so realistic that I was like, wow, this is that's why Tuesdays was my favourite episode.
Yeah.
They were being really horrible to Ikra and Habiba, and they beat up Bobby, and he has a bleed on the brain. Nanny Kath did her usual text the character, they come back recast, because that's what she did with Ben Phil.
Yeah, bring him back.
She's done it with Peter, who Peter is very tall.
He's very tall. He's been standing in a potting shed for a few years.
When he was stood next to Kathy, he was 4 times.
He was like Andre the Giant. He was looming over her. He was kind of just standing over her. He was like, hello. The Little Britain sketch when Dennis Waterman goes into the office. Right, theme tune.
That's what Kathy looked like.
Then, she looked like him, and they just saw this giant hand coming toward Kathy, to say hello.
Because she was looking all the way up to him, and he was like, hello, Kathy.
Hello, Kathy.
But,
I'm Peter Bill.
A bit of a weird intro. He had 10 seconds on screen, so we didn't really know much about new Peter, what he's here for.
And also, he didn't seem to be very happy to see Bobby, because he went into the hospital room and said, oh, this is funny that I'm seeing you again. And he seemed a bit not very close to Bobby still. He still kind of was very angry and upset over the death of his sister.
It's all very odd because obviously he's not living in New Zealand because Kathy texted him and he was at the hospital straight away. So he must have been back in London for a while, but not told anyone, I guess.
I never really thought about it that way, but yeah, I suppose you must be right.
So
Wonder what he's doing in London then.
Yeah, I don't know, because last time Ian went to go visit him and he came back with that weird book on the plane, he'd gone over to help Peter because he was on drugs, wasn't he? He was a drug addict, I think, off screen.
Was he?
He was.
Dear.
So whether that's still a storyline, whether he contaminated the drugs that they sold to Bex, who knows?
Yeah, but wasn't that what killed Lucy? Because Peter was supplying Lucy the drugs. Just because
he was drug dealing then as well.
But he wanted to make sure that it was safe for Lucy, and that's why he started doing it. So it wasn't to kind of earn any money or profit from it. And that's why Ian ultimately blamed Peter for Lucy.
Yeah, to begin with. His favourite.
Yeah.
Very complicated. But he's back.
Yes.
And obviously back on the ship.
Taller. He could have just literally stood at the bottom of the Thames.
Yeah, held the boat up with his muscles.
Yeah, just walked along like the Jolly Green Giant.
Maybe that's how Patrick got back. He just picked up Patrick and dropped him back.
Yeah. Just by their hair and just kind of takes them over.
Because that's why Ian's on the boat, to trap Dennis so he can phone the police when they get back to shore, to get him arrested for his online bullying or whatever he's been doing. But that's obviously when the chaos happened.
Ian wanted to speak to Dennis about the hate crimes that he put on, what did he call him, a race traitor, because he's white but he's of Muslim religion.
Weird, I don't know.
Yeah, which is really, that's such a hateful thing to do. I mean, that's really, I said like Dennis was forgiven by the end of, by his demise, but like that's a really nasty thing to do. And the fact that he didn't seem to care to begin with either.
No, he only cared when he was in trouble.
Well, exactly. Well, he only cared when he thought he was going to die.
Which he did.
Yeah, and like I said, he burped in Ian's face. Ian was a bit like, Ian smacked him around the face, which I thought was epic. And then he just kind of threw him in a room. And then was it just me, or did Dennis seem to have this new fear of enclosed spaces? Like they seem to do that a lot, don't they, when they put people in enclosed spaces?
Yeah, they suddenly have a fear that they've had forever.
Because they did with Fat Boy, wasn't it? And like there was never ever mention of it, and then Fat Boy suddenly had this fear of enclosed spaces. And they seem to give that to Dennis as well, and I thought that was a bit.
They didn't really give us enough time to really know about Dennis recently. Really, he was just like a victim.
Yeah, Dennis's clue number 3 that he's going to die. He left a voicemail for his mum.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to bring that up because he says specifically, Ian's locked me in the boat.
Yes.
Like very specific, and I don't know if I said that to someone online and they said it didn't send. I don't know if it sent or not, but it must have. Or it's going to eventually like turn up and Sharon's going to hear it.
The thing is, it's not a text message, it's a
voice memo.
It's it's like a WhatsApp message. And WhatsApp messages stay in the ethos until eventually it finds its reception, the person who's due to get the message. And yeah, I think on Monday's episode, Sharon's going to be like in bed, kind of just laying there looking a bit gormless.
Or like Ian's comforting her, and then she'll play it and he'll go
ding, and like her phone will go off. What do you reckon Sharon's alert tune is?
Denny?
Yeah. He's in the kitchen.
I hate you, Mum.
He's in the kitchen eating a biscuit.
So yeah, there's obviously that which is going to come back and bite Ian. But he did try and save him. He did try his best. He was wading through. He risked his own life. Yeah, but for Ian Beale to risk his own life, that's something.
Ian Beale dropped the keys. The water still wasn't that deep at that point. He could have looked for the keys a bit more hard.
Ian Wojak was going through the water like very slowly. I don't think he enjoyed the experience of filming that. But he got a fire extinguisher and he made a hole and he dragged. I thought when he was dragging Denny out, they were gonna like show like a bit of wood cut him. And then he'd live, but then later he'd die of that maybe. But no.
He become septic or something.
Yeah, but there was like a tidal wave and I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened, how they got out or anything. So I'm guessing the tidal wave.
That's true, because on the Tuesday's episode, because of the beginning of Monday, Tuesday and Thursday's episode, they began it with like a clip of them like struggling in the Thames. And for Ian's, which they never showed on Friday's episode, he was in the water and he kept diving into the water and trying to grab something.
Must have been trying to get Denny, I guess, but...
Yeah, but Dennis couldn't. So that would indicate then that Dennis had actually drowned to the bottom of the Thames floor at that point. How deep is the Thames? I don't know how deep the Thames is.
Because they got the body, like both Ian and Denny's body. So they
dragged it. Yeah, but was that on a life raft? Or because I thought Ian was swimming. I don't know. I can't remember now.
They didn't show on Friday. They didn't show. They just showed both
getting pulled
Ian
out.
and Denny lying there.
Yeah.
Don't know which one was dead. It was Denny.
It was Denny, yeah. We don't have to hide the fact we've been talking about it the whole time.
Repeating it throughout the episode. And he woke up. Kathy was there. Kathy broke the news. She knew before Sharon.
Well, Keanu told Sharon
off screen,
but the whole hospital knew after Sharon knew. No.
I know, poor Sharon. It's very horrible for her, but I guess it's the only way because otherwise she was going to leave. So I guess we should have seen it like on Monday when she said, just me and Denny are going to leave. So the reason that Sharon stays is obviously because she's got no one to leave with.
But then for me, that means there's no reason for her to stay.
That's what I thought. Because like, why would she stay on the square now?
Yeah, there's nothing keeping her there. Go see Michelle. Bring Michelle back with you.
What they need is to have a recast Vicky turn up on Monday.
Yeah.
Give her an excuse to stay.
And a recast Mark.
Oh, right, yeah. I thought you meant Mark Fowler.
No.
I was like, he died.
Mark Jr.
Yeah, they should. Give her some family around her.
I mean, it's a good
Help with the
opportunity
baby.
to bring... What would they be now? Like late 20s?
Well, Vicky would be same age as Martin, 35.
Oh, right.
34, 35.
They need some like 20s. They're knocking out all the young people in that soap.
They all die.
That's what I mean.
Before they reach 20.
The problem is that, and I think I've said this 100 times before, is that with a young cast, they get well known and then they want to up and do other things.
Yeah, they want to try, don't they?
So it's a tricky situation, isn't it? It's the balancing act.
Just let them leave. I hope Bex leaves and doesn't die.
No, but well, let's talk about Bex, because Bex basically got absolutely wrecked on a pill, which was very dangerous, which is the reason why the police turned up.
Contaminated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Sonia got back home early. Never know why they showed us close-ups of all her things.
This is the thing. They showed a close-up of Bex on a keyring, and then Sonia taking her boots off,
Yeah,
and then
hanging
hanging up
stuff
her coat.
Maybe they're just trying to be fancy.
Maybe, but I do think that was a clue for
weird.
something.
But she obviously found the body of Leo, and then the police turn up. But Nurse Sonia didn't keep to her oath. She didn't tell the police about this body. And Martin then turns up. She shows Martin they don't do anything with the body.
And not just that, Sonia didn't tell Martin about Bex either. It was like, oh, Bex is in trouble, but it's fine. Anyway, look, there's a body in the kitchen.
She was very calm, wasn't she, Sonia, for the dead Leo?
Oh, she's seen many dead people. She's
Yeah,
a
not
nurse
in
after
Dot's
all.
kitchen.
Hasn't she?
Which means she told Dot.
Well, she phoned her up or sent her a voice message, like
Yeah.
like Wilmot Brown did with Kathy. Maybe that's how Sonia and Dot communicate with one another. Little
voice
tapes,
messages.
little tapes
Dot's
to one
like,
another.
oh, I'm not coming back then. I've quit.
Right, so are we going to quickly do this news for anyone
If
who
you
doesn't
want.
know? So I don't know if anyone outside the UK would have heard this news, but June Brown, who plays Dot Cotton, announced in a podcast.
Our podcast. Oh, no, it wasn't. Sorry.
No, it wasn't. Yeah,
Darn.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
close.
yeah. But don't worry, it's not another EastEnders podcast, so you'll get the...
No, it's by the woman who plays that the funny character in like 1987.
Yeah, she's got a podcast.
Sophia, whatever her name was. Sophia.
And Dot said that she won't be coming back to the soap because she came back for a storyline, didn't like the storyline, and so left.
She said, I've put her to Ireland. It's like...
No, she said she's gone to Ireland, she's going to stay there.
Yeah, but she said she did it. It's like, did you, June, or did the writers do that?
Yeah.
So it's all very odd, but apparently she's left. But Dot's left for the final time lots of times. So...
But this made national news.
No, I don't believe
And our
it.
old friend Cast Cards, EastEnders Cast Cards, who was stood outside Elstree Studio today, got interviewed by the BBC as well about it. Yeah, so... I mean, this has made national press. So I'm presuming if June Brown didn't mean it and it was done tongue-in-cheek,
she'll turn up on Monday.
she's regretted it big time.
She'll turn up saying, so where's my script then? June, I thought you quit. No. No, what are you on about?
Come on, I need my fag money. I need fag money.
She probably thought that podcast was just a private conversation. She didn't realise it was being recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
Oh, am I leaving?
I was just trying to sound clever.
She'll play naive, won't she? She'll play the dumb card and she'll be like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. I was just playing a joke.
But Bex is alive and well in hospital with Martin.
Well, she's on life support, isn't she?
No, she was awake, wasn't she? She was crying.
She had her eyes rolled back in her head when she was on the ship.
Oh, yeah, but in the hospital she was awake.
Kush was helping her out, and Kat kept giving daggers to old Dotty.
I know.
And then the one time Dotty actually did a good thing, which was that she called Dennis...
Give her the drugs.
No, called Dennis out for being...
Racist.
Yeah, for being a prat. She then basically realises that she shouldn't have given those drugs after all to old Bex.
I mean, hopefully the death of Dennis... We say it's short-sighted, it's silly, another legacy character dying. Kate Oates and Johnson have said on an interview now that the ramifications of this can last between months, and for some characters it's going to last for a whole year. They've got it all planned out.
Good.
So let's hope that's true, because apparently it's going to affect Dotty and Bex because they feel like they have a part in it. It's going to affect Phil because he obviously sees him as a son. They say it's going to affect Ian and Sharon's relationship. So hopefully it does have an actual meaning. Like unlike Stephen's death, which he died and then Abby was the only one that was upset and then she died.
Yeah.
So hopefully there is more meaning to this death to make it worthwhile.
I think you're right. I think I've got a lot of confidence in Oates and Sen. I always think it sounds like a band from the 70s. Oates and Sen.
Cereal.
Yeah. Oh, lush. I'd eat that.
Some Oates and Sen, it's very dramatic.
Every morning when I wake up.
Free toy gun.
Yeah, in every packet of Oates and Sen.
Free kidnap in the back of a van.
Yeah.
With every cereal.
When you leave the supermarket, you'll be kidnapped with every good box and purchase of Oats and Sen. And I do think that ramifications of this is going to be, the aftershock is going to be massive, because it does affect a lot of characters. It affects Ben, it affects Callum, it affects Phil, it affects Keanu to a degree, it affects Karen, it affects Sharon, it affects Ian, it affects Kathy. So it was obviously done consciously that for a best impact, because if, say for argument's sake, Linda died, really the only people it would have affected would have been the Carters, and we don't really need the Carters to have more exactly. So this is, and it builds up the Bills, which we all were excited for. It's Mitchell's, and Kate Oates likes to take the traditional characters, the ones that have been almost forgotten on the wayside, and bring them back into the foreground and make them the star and the highlight.
And it's all like the originals, like Ian,
exactly,
Kathy, Sharon, Phil. Like they're the ones that are going to be mainly affected by it. So it means the original guys are going to have a lot more to do. Excited.
I'm excited for the rest of the year and Christmas.
Also, there was like a weird thing with Ben. I just remembered like his hearing aid was like not working.
Oh, that's what I alluded to earlier.
Like, they're like focusing on it a lot, but I'm guessing it just needs new hearing aid.
He looked a bit dumbfounded as well, didn't he? He looked like young Ben when he got stung by Stella. You know what I mean? He looked a bit like confused and scared, and like he's out of his league now, and didn't seem quite comfortable with it anymore.
It's just I saw an article saying new like hearing loss for Ben or something, but that can't be right, surely. I think it was a bit of a clickbait thing. I mean, surely he just needs a new hearing aid.
He could have had a burst eardrum from going into the water if pressure was too much. That could have happened. But yeah, I think it's clickbait.
Yeah, I hope not. It'd be annoying.
EastEnders is very good.
Do you think they'll get complaints? 13-year-old dead?
No, because it was done, and I use this term in a very kind of bracketed way, it was done tastefully, as in he wasn't killed by a stabbing wound, for instance, or a gun wound.
You didn't see him drown.
Yes, and it looked as though he died peacefully.
Well, drowning's meant to be one of the nicest ways, isn't it, I think?
Well, you pass out before you actually die.
Yeah.
Because you lose oxygen to the mind.
There you go. That's what you want. Eating biscuits.
Get your Oats and Sen and get your free swimming cap.
Right, so we're going to go on to our comments from all of you guys.
Was that the end of the week? Is that everything? We talked about everything.
Yeah. Oh, Kathy gave birth, helped give birth.
Chantal and Gray went to see Pretty Woman.
Oh, lucky that. They had a lovely time, didn't they?
I know, they enjoyed themselves. Well, also we think.
Yeah,
Chantal might have had a hell of a time too.
And Kathy was birthing partner for Sharon, so they're like friends again, so that's nice.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And the references as well. There was a Lou Bill reference, there was a Pauline reference, there was an Angie reference.
Miss Hewitt reference.
On the side of the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hewitt's buses.
The other reference was the name that Albert Square is based off of. That was Fawcett Square, and that was where the boat was docked.
Oh yeah, Fawcett's port or pier, wasn't
like
it?
That, yeah. And then obviously the boat was called Holland and Julia, or Smith and Holland, which is after the people who created it.
It's no Love Heart with Julia Hart's Tony.
No, that's true.
No fireworks per se.
There were fireworks, but emotional ones.
Oh, and can I quickly also mention, I know you want to sum up, but at the very, 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 very end, when they did the final shot of the lifeboats and they zoomed out.
Because we thought that's how it was going to start, didn't we, last week?
They were going to zoom in.
They were going to zoom into the boat, but they didn't. But they did the opposite, so that's good enough.
So they kind of did...
We get half a point for predicting that.
Yeah. If only that was in our prediction envelope for 2020.
Wow. Maybe Dennis Dead is in one of ours.
Ooh.
I can't remember mine. Even though I only did it
I can't remember anything I've written either.
Right, so we're going to go on to everyone's comments and then we'll see what you all thought about the week.
You know me, I ain't one to gossip.
So yes, after this gripping anniversary week, we don't have time, unfortunately, to do a This Time Last Year, where we look back at another week.
Oh, everyone knows what
happened
in
the past. But yeah, 30th anniversary, Lucy's death, and 25th, Bradley jumped off the roof.
Dr. Leg's death.
Yeah.
Dennis's death.
Dr. Leg's death? Was that a year ago?
Yeah.
I always forget that.
But Mary?
I need the money. But we do have time with Ben to talk about birthdays and deaths. I wonder what deaths we'll be talking about this week.
There's lots of birthdays, actually. 19th of Feb, 1916.
Okay, let me guess. Ethel.
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
She was born on the anniversary week of EastEnders.
Of course she was. It's Ethel.
18th of February, 1936.
Lou Bill.
No.
Dot Cotton.
No.
Patrick Truman.
No. Big Mo.
Big Mo?
Big Mo.
36?
Yeah, she's as
old
as...
How old is she?
She's as old as Dot. Dot's in Ireland quitting the show. Big Mo's there doing limboing and all sorts. Big Mo was actually really good this week.
Oh, I just wanted to mention that. Yeah.
She's very good. All her one-liners. She's what we needed on
But
that
she
boat.
didn't, and no, well, pun very much intended. She didn't trump Sonia for her Sonia. It's like, what did you tell the police? Well, I didn't play my trumpet for her. That genuinely made me laugh out loud.
19th of February again, 1970.
70?
Mhm.
Kush?
No.
Cat?
No, not on the show anymore.
Oh, okay. Oh, let me,
A Truman.
oh, Paul.
No. Anthony.
Anthony.
And the 19th of Feb, 1970, same day, Saskia Duncan, who died last week, or by this time last year.
You're not letting me guess anymore.
Well, you wouldn't guess Saskia Duncan, would you? 21st of Feb, 1973.
21st
Butcher.
of Feb. Oh, okay. Ricky.
Yep.
Oh.
20th of Feb, 1975. One of Max's wives.
Tanya.
Yeah, that's correct.
Vanessa Gold.
No. 19th of February 2015, who was born on an anniversary episode
Oh,
in a toilet floor.
Oh, it's Pearl.
That's correct. Well, the Pearl anniversary.
Of course it was.
Right, we've got deaths. So 19th of February 1985, is that a special date?
Reg Cox.
That's correct. His grandson's the captain of the ship, I feel.
Of course it stinks in here.
He should have said that when he went on the ship.
Oh no, when the water started coming
Yeah.
into the ship, it's like, cool, it stinks in here.
Get off the ship, quick. 18th of Feb 2005, Andy Hunter died by being pushed off a...
Oh, it was a motorway bridge.
That's correct. You can guess the way people died. 18th of Feb 2005, a Watts died.
That was Den Watts. And
Yes, original Den.
This is the second time he died, and he got killed by a doorstop, which was Pauline's doorstop.
Yes. 19th of Feb 2010, anniversary day.
25th.
Live episode.
Oh, it's Bradley.
That's Bradley.
Stace, run!
Yep, jumping off the top of a roof. So there you go.
A very special roof.
The Vic.
The Vic roof.
Mhm.
He's finger moved.
He was still dying.
He still died. Excellent. Oh, I enjoyed that, actually. That's a fun game. We should play that next week.
Okay.
Good. So this time, instead of asking you who won the week, as in different stories, we asked you which day won the week.
Not Thursday.
And also not including Friday. And the days were...
No, in my personal opinion, not Thursday. Mitchell
Yes,
Day.
I got that.
Boo.
I don't know why you had such a bad...
Because it was a mess.
It wasn't a mess. It was just that there was no stop. There was no pause. There was no kind of moment for you to breathe.
Messy.
Like there was with the Carters and the Bills and the Fowler story.
It was messy like Callum walking down steps.
Backwards into a dumpster. Monday was the Carter story. Tuesday was the Bill and Fowler story. And Thursday was the Mitchells and Taylor story. So which one of those three do you think on our Twitter, Facebook and Instagram people voted was their favourite story?
What was your favourite? I've said mine was Tuesday, the Bill Fowler one.
I admit that
Or that your favourite
the
too?
Bill one was my favourite too.
Too similar.
I must
Need a
admit.
new host.
Yeah, but...
We need opposite views.
Okay. Get someone else in.
No, can't bother. You get someone else in.
Okay, I will.
Good.
Good. I want to change you.
Who won? I bet the Mitchells won because people were just annoying me.
The Mitchells won with 47% of the vote. The Carters came second with 33% of the vote. We obviously aren't agreeable, which is also surprising because obviously Dennis was the pinnacle story and they came last with 20% of the vote. I think perhaps in foresight, maybe a few people might have voted the Bills a bit more after they saw the Dennis story, but...
It's the same people that voted for Boris for Prime Minister. Probably.
President. Do you know who you're voting for?
Ian Bill.
Ian Bill. Always vote for Bill.
To keep it real.
Keeping it real. So a few comments on the week. Mel Jane Carr on Instagram said the opening credits with London by Night were creepy.
Oh, I liked them. I prefer them. I thought they looked classier.
I think they should use them
the
now
winter.
for evening. Yeah, when the nights draw closer. At Sharon P 9720524 said the Mitchells were defo the best episode this week. Mick could have easily got Linda's foot out and Ian should have gone under the water and found the keys. He should have gone under the water and found the keys.
I thought that was amazing when he broke Linda's ankle.
Yeah, I love the way she went, "Wah!" and all the bubbles came out. And at the same time, Sharon was screaming to give birth. Yet again, perhaps if we knew better, hindsight is a powerful thing. James Reed on Facebook said, unquestionably the weakest episode this week was Phil, Keanu and the Ben story.
Yeah.
It has reached the point of exhaustion now.
Yeah.
Sharon is the only reason we care about it.
Yeah. Who's that? I agree.
James Reed on Facebook.
I agree, James.
True.
True.
By the way, I'll give you details of how you can find us on all our social medias at the end of the show.
WalfordWeekly.com.
Or you can go on WalfordWeekly.com, but I'll also give you the tags as well, which Ben hates. So I'm going to do it. At Mr_Plant Geek, good friend of ours. Oh, we were meant to crack over the champagne. We were going to do this drunk.
I'm in mourning.
Okay.
Next year.
Ben said, oh, should we do this last piece drunk and see what happens? And I said, okay then, we've got some champagne.
Next year we'll do anniversary one. We'll have a shot in between each section.
Okay, we have to hold ourselves to this. So Mr. Plant Geek said, I'm disappointed generally, to be honest. The repeated feeling is so plodding, and I don't think they need to repeat so many scenes. They would still have got the context without it.
Yeah, but you need to pretend that the British audience is silly or stupid. So you have to explain it nowadays. That's why Leo, every time you saw Leo, you'd have "He's a Bad Man" music in the background. That's what EastEnders has become. They kill off 13-year-old boys drowning on the Thames.
Moving on, Gilbert Pocket from Instagram says, Big Mo's one-liners were good to inject some humour into the dramatic week.
Yeah.
Big Mo was ace. EastEnders Crack on Instagram says, I love Sharon, just Sharon.
Same.
At Elves36 on Twitter says, the first 2 episodes were great, but Thursday was another level. Karen standing up to Phil, the showdown between Phil and Karen, the showdown between Phil and Keanu, Callum at the warehouse. The whole episode was just brilliant.
No, it wasn't. The best bit was on the boat. Everything on the square was crummy.
Oh. Tamlin Steele on Facebook says, so good seeing the same story from all these different angles and how they tie in together.
It was clever. I'd love to watch it in order. I have to edit it together.
Yes, I agree with you. I hope someone. I mean, if I had the time, I could edit that together. I wonder if it would be shorter as well, because they did duplicate some scenes every now and then. Shannon D. Corsia on Facebook said the racist attack was heartbreaking, but a reminder that it takes place all the time, even if it doesn't turn violent. I'm sure Ikra and Habiba have had to deal with these types of idiots their entire lives. Yeah, absolutely. I can quite imagine
because they
that.
kind of just said, "Oh, just leave it," but Bobby couldn't, could he?
Well, I don't blame him either, as you said. And it was such a realistic scene as well. I can imagine seeing that like in the street one day. Matt Cherry on Facebook said, if the Bill episode had only included Sharon telling Kathy she misses Angie, which she did, nothing else would have been more satisfying.
She did mention Angie, didn't she?
She did, yeah.
It was very nice.
At Chloe Oriel on Twitter said, love the Carter, absolutely banging pub scene, an emotional scene for Linda and Shirley. Bonus points for wrestling references and Issac and EastEnders script writers being advocates of women's wrestling. Extra points for Tina's fluffy neon pink party boots.
I thought when I thought Tina was going to die, I thought those things were going to be the things that kill her because she wouldn't be able to like wade or swim in them or they'll sink her down because they're so big and fluffy.
She was like on that life raft and on the side. She was dry. She was practically dry. Her, Max and Denise were fine, weren't they?
No peril.
Absolutely fine.
The ones I wanted to die, Max. He was there fine. He still had his hat on. Didn't even lose his hat.
Just hanged around. Thank you to everyone who sent in comments. We also put a question up this week saying, what happened to you 7 hours earlier after reading this post? Got a few nice answers to this, so I thought I'd read them out. At Alex Stan's Hugger said, buying crisps in Tesco.
Same.
You were doing that? Oh, yeah, you were. You bought some of those puffer balls. What are they called? Not going to elaborate on what.
Sorry.
You like to keep that
I just bought
private life private.
Not about EastEnders, I'm not going to comment.
At Christina Bassett Horn said, I was sound asleep at different time zone to ask me again tomorrow.
Sounds nice.
I might message her
asleep.
later. At Gilbert PPPP said, dropped my phone into the toilet, and I'm not even joking. I had to buy a new one from Argos. It was bloody stressful. I mean, I can't think Argos was the best deal to buy a new mobile phone.
No, just go where you can go, like on the toilet.
Yeah, but Argos, Carphone Warehouse, wouldn't it be?
Depends what's local.
What phone Gilbert, let us know what phone you bought. At Jess Louise EE95 said, I went head first into the shutters at work before we were open, getting excited, and now I have a bruise on my forehead.
Getting excited about EastEnders, I hope.
Well, she just wanted her working day to end so she'd get home, have a glass of wine.
See a 13-year-old boy get murdered.
Yes. You're not going to let this lie, are you?
That's what this week's theme is.
Emma Ray said, I had a jag of potato, made my son's beans on toast, and then dried my hair. I think that is worthy of a Julius theme. You don't have beans on toast, Ben. You have beans with the side of toast.
I don't. I put some on the toast and some on the plate.
No, you put all the beans on the plate, and then you just arrange the toast around the plate, like a sunflower
so the toast
petals.
stays crunchy, not soft.
Oh, the best part of those is that it gets soft.
Oh, no.
It's like spaghetti on toast.
No.
Yum. Anyway, thank you to everyone who gets in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram by just looking at Walford Weekly. You can also find us on Facebook group. Just search Walford Weekly Podcast and click to join. Also find all this information and email address to get in touch with us at walfordweekly.com. As always, it's an absolute pleasure that you've decided to come join us and listen to our ramblings of EastEnders.
And this long as well.
I hope you could join us again next week. Goodbye.
For the funeral.
And I think it's going to be a couple of weeks till that happens. Are you looking forward to the funeral of a 13-year-old boy, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want Jan to turn up. Den's old mistress.
Oh, I'd like that
Don't know why she would turn up, but why not?
Oh, I'd like that.
Den always talks
Michelle
about
might turn up.
Sue Tully.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how are they going to explain that?
Yeah.
I'm giving birth again. That's what they'll do. I've got a migraine.
Yeah.
She didn't go to her mum or her dad's or her brother's, so she's not going to go to Dennis's.
The irony would be if she can't get over to the UK because Storm Dennis.
No, Michelle will say, oh, Dennis punched me. I don't like him. They had a big fight, didn't
No,
they?
yeah, but they reconciled by the
but
end of it.
She holds a grudge.
No, she doesn't. Not the Shell I know and love. Anyway, thanks again for everyone to listening. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to rate us on Apple iTunes and subscribe. And we hope you listen again next week.
Yeah, if you want. Bye.
Wow.